I would recommend not setting some water to boil before you record a video and then forgetting that you set the water to boil. It's just a little life advice from someone with a great deal of experience behind them, I'll put it that way. So, what am I here for today? Well, it was supposed to be an unboxing, but since I got halfway through recording that video and then had to stop for reasons, I'm going to do a first look. And this is something for the Reanimated game from Trapped Chest. I got a chance to take a look at these thanks to the creator last year. I think both of them were last year. Maybe one of them was the year before, but I think they were both last year. That's Reanimated and Join Their Ranks, which is playing the undead in Reanimated. And someone from Bardic Inspirations RPGs reached out to me about taking a look at Zombies of the Corn, a reanimated adventure for 4 to 6 survivors. It's, I guess, now become customary to mention that I was not paid to do a first look at this, and this is the only compensation I got was receiving a copy of this to take a look at, and I'm going to do my review when I get a chance coming up. Keep a look for that on my blog. Links below. It finally happened. We were warned, but yet the outbreak still took us unaware. It's now a battle of survival in a world where the reanimated freely roam the streets. Zombies of the Corn is a comedic, reanimated adventure for 4 to 6 survivors, I can speak sometimes, that brings dark humor to these even darker times. The players will learn of the perfect off-grid encampment. Did I read that right? Yes, we'll learn of the perfect off-grid encampment with everything one would need to survive a zombie apocalypse. Now they must try not only to escape the city, but also fend off what dangers may stalk amongst the corn. So, here's some credit page here. Incredibly small print down there. And this is, a third party, so it's, I think that's one of the things, if I remember right, in the back of this book, I feel like there was maybe it's in the front of the book, a fairly generous, the key-powered license is in here for creating other stuff for the, what is it? It's the key-powered system is the mechanics. It's been a while since I've looked through it, and I've read a lot of things since then, but my memory of it is that it felt sort of like, it's kind of like the core Traveler system, which went on to be Cepheus Engine. I think people have released it as like a generic thing as the Cepheus Engine. And obviously, when you're looking at a book like this, we're talking about a very stripped down, bare bones kind of version of the system, but that's what it reminded me of. And maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like it was like 2d6 plus a statistic or something to that effect. It's been a while. Don't quote me on any of that. But what do we have here? We have introduction. Obviously, it's an adventure, so there might be some spoilers. A little battle mat if you want to use it. I do like the almost Tim Burton-esque undead folk. We have the farm outside locations. Ooh, zombie kids. Cornfield map. And then, a conclusion. Oh, that's a nice map in the back here. Oh, this is good. Pre-generated characters. I go on a lot about it, but I'm a big believer that you should have in your one-shots in your adventures, I really believe strongly in the pre-generated character. And then I think probably this is all public stuff, so I think it's okay to show this if you're so inclined to contact folks. So I'll be curious to give this a read. I haven't. 2025 was not a good year. Period. End of sentence. But 2025 was not a great year for me for gaming. I got to play finally Mothership, and I played a bunch of Traveler with with friends that I've been playing Traveler with for some time. But even that, it was like harder to get together last year, I feel like, than it had been the previous, and it just wasn't a great year. So I didn't really get a lot to the table. I recently ran a not good Shadowrun adventure. The adventure's fine. Not Shadowrun, Shadow Dark. I did not run it well. So all that is just me blah blahing, I guess. I'd like to try to get something like this to the table. I miss zombies being fun, and I think I maybe talked about this when I was maybe doing the unboxing of these, but I was a big fan of zombie movies and zombie stories, and it used to be so hard to find material, and it was real fringe. It was niche amongst the niche, like you had, even if you were a fan of horror movies, being a fan of zombie movies was like a subcategory of a subcategory. And then you talk about that in the tabletop role-playing scene, where it was like, so, I mean, All Flesh Must Be Eaten was one of the only zombie role-playing games that I know of for a long time. And then around 2000, you had, somewhere in that area, you had the Dawn of the Dead remake, you had 28 Days Later, and you had some other stuff, and you had the Walking Dead comic book come out, and all of a sudden it exploded, and there was so much, and it was overdone, and it got tiresome to the point where there would still be the occasional cool zombie film that would come out that would really stand out, like Zombieland or Fido or something like that, that would tell some new story, or Girl with All the Gifts. It would do a real cool twist. But it was just overdone. And then people moved back to ghost stories and exorcisms, blah, 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 which is just stuff I've never found interesting. And we moved away from the zombie stuff with being inundated with them. And now it's been long enough that I'm starting to feel the pull again. Starting to think about the stuff that I like about them. And it does prompt me to want to get some zombie role playing to the table. So maybe that's what 2026 is going to see. We'll see. I'm going to try to read this and get a review as soon as possible. I don't think I'll have it by the time this video posts, but I might. If so, it'll be in the doobly-doo below. If not, I will add it when I write it. But you can always check out my blog for any new reviews that I have. The links will definitely be below for that. That's what I've got for right now. Have you checked out Reanimated? And if so, what did you think? I'm definitely curious about it now. And again, like I said, the zombie thing is starting to draw me back in. I'm starting to want to maybe dabble with that again. And I do think that as much as I loved All Flesh Must Be Eaten, and as much as I enjoyed playing All Flesh Must Be Eaten back when it was still new, I think now I look at it, and at the time, we were. I feel like we were just much more into mechanics in the 90s and the early 2000s, and I've moved so far into the rules light realm as a GM. I don't want to run complicated games anymore. I say that, and if I had a chance to run Ars Magica tomorrow, I would. But generally speaking, I don't want to run complicated games anymore, and I just don't see myself bringing All Flesh Must Be Eaten to the table. If I'm going to run a zombie game, it's probably going to be something like Reanimated. So that's it for me. Until next time, take care.